You know, I've been thinking a lot lately about how our bodies change. It's funny, isn't it? One day you're in your 20s, able to run a few miles without a second thought, and the next, well, you're not quite as spry. Have you ever felt that? That little twinge in your knee after a walk, or that sudden wobbly feeling when you get out of a chair? My wife, Sarah, was telling me just the other day that climbing the stairs feels like a full on hike up a mountain now. It's a strange thing. This feeling of putting in the effort, staying active like all the doctors and news channels tell us to, but somehow feeling weaker instead of stronger. It's a real head scratcher, isn't it? You start to wonder if maybe you're doing something wrong. Like me. I was doing these exercises I saw the younger fellas doing down at the Y, thinking it'd keep me strong. But something just didn't feel right. I felt more worn out than built up. It took me a while and a lot of reading to figure it out. But here's the thing, what works for our kids or grandkids, what's considered the king of leg exercises for them, it might be the very thing silently wearing us down. I mean, nobody ever tells you this stuff until you start feeling the ache, right? That's what gets me. It's like a secret that the fitness world keeps. So I started digging. I went back to some of the things my old man taught me, and then I looked at new research from some of the biggest health organizations. I'll tell you, what I found was a total game changer. It explains those little aches and pains. It shows us why we feel weaker, not stronger sometimes. The good news is there's a better way, a smarter way, a way that actually builds strength without the pain and risk. Now, before we get into the nitty gritty, and trust me, you'll want to stick around for this, I have to say this. I'm just a guy from upstate New York who's learned a few things. This is all based on my own experience and what I've researched. It's always a good idea to chat with your own doctor before you start any new routine. They know your personal health story, you know? But if you're curious about how to make every step feel stronger, and I mean every step, from getting out of a car to walking the dog, then do me a favor. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got so many more tips like this to share, and trust me, we're just getting started on this journey together. So let's talk about the first one on my list, a real classic. It's often called the king of all leg exercises, the deep squat. I've seen this one everywhere, on TV, in magazines, and for years, I did them myself without a second thought. My son Mike, who's in his 30s now, he does them all the time. Just sinks so low with a perfect form and pops right back up. I tried to do the same thing a few years back. Standing with my feet shoulder width apart, arms out in front, I'd lower myself down, down, down. But halfway there, my knees, they just weren't having it. They'd feel this terrible pressure and my balance would get all wobbly. My heels would want to lift right off the floor, and I could feel my knees doing all the work to pull me back up. It's funny. You think you're strengthening your thighs and glutes, but really, you're just forcing your knees to carry the entire load. According to a health article I read from the Mayo Clinic, that kind of deep bend puts a tremendous amount of stress on the patella. That's your kneecap, and it speeds up cartilage loss, which is the last thing we need. So, what's the alternative? Well, what I found is a much friendlier version, what I like to call the chair squat. It sounds simple, but boy, is it effective. This is how I do it. I stand in front of a sturdy chair, one without wheels, and I just slowly lower myself down until my backside gently touches the seat. And then I stop. I don't sit all the way down. I just touch the seat as a sort of checkpoint, then push right back up through my heels. It's a slow, controlled movement. It's what my knees love. It engages all the right muscles, your thighs, your glutes, without forcing your joints into a dangerous position. And the best part? It's practical. It mimics real life, standing up from the couch or getting out of a car. You're building strength for the things that matter most in your daily routine. So if you're a little nervous, you can even start with a higher surface, like the edge of your bed, and work your way down. It's about progress, not perfection. Now let's move on to something else that looks incredibly safe but can be a silent enemy, the leg press machine. My friend Frank down at the gym swore by this thing. You sit back, put your feet up, and just push the weight, right? It seems so controlled, so much safer than a squat. Your back is supported, no risk of falling. But here's the surprising truth. When you're reclined like that and you push that heavy plate, a massive amount of force is being directed straight through your knees, hips, and lower back. Because you're lying back, you can't use your core or your stabilizing muscles to help out. It's all pressure, all going right into your joints. I read a fascinating article on a health website that explained this. They called it unnatural loading. And because the machine feels safe, a lot of us, we load it up with far more weight than our bodies can handle. We don't feel the damage right away, but it can show up later as stiffness or a nagging ache in your lower back. So, what's a better choice? Well, what I found is a much more natural movement that works those muscles the same way, the step up. I use a small, sturdy step, no higher than a curb, maybe 6 to 8 inches. I stand next to my kitchen counter for support, and I just slowly step one foot up onto the step, then bring the other to meet it. Then I step back down, slowly and with control. This isn't about speed or jumping. It's about steady, intentional movement. It works your legs, your glutes, and even your core, all without putting that unnatural pressure on your knees and spine. Sarah loves this one. She says it reminds her of climbing the stairs at the library, and that it feels so much better than the old way. This exercise builds real-life strength, the kind you need to get groceries out of the car or navigate uneven sidewalks. All right, let's talk about something that gets everyone excited, those high-impact cardio routines. You see instructors on YouTube videos jumping all over the place, doing jumping jacks or skipping, and they look like they're having a blast. They say, just a little jump, you got this. I tried it once, just a quick warm-up. And I'll tell you, by the 10th jump, my knees were screaming. The next day, my hips ached like I'd been running a marathon. Our joints just don't have the same cushioning they used to. Every time you jump and land, you send a jarring force right up through your ankles, knees, and hips. It's like a tiny hammer tapping away at your joints, and it adds up over time. According to a report I saw from the American Heart Association, there are much safer ways for us to get our heart rate up without all that pounding. So, what's a good alternative? My favorite, and the one Sarah and I do together, is simple marching in place. Yes, that's right, marching. We turn on some good old Motown music, stand tall, and just lift one knee at a time in a gentle, steady rhythm. We swing our arms a bit. You'd be surprised how quickly you get a good sweat going without any of the jarring impact. Another great one is side step. You can even put a light resistance band just above your knees to make it a little more challenging. You just step side to side, nice and light on your feet. It works your outer thighs and gets the blood flowing. If you really want to get your heart pumping, you can even do what they call seated cardio. You just sit on the edge of a sturdy chair and do fast-paced toe taps or leg lifts. The point is, we're staying active in a way our bodies can sustain. Because the risk isn't just soreness, it's inflammation, tendon damage, or even falls that can set us back for weeks. So remember to choose a move that's kind to your knees. Your joints will thank you later. The last one on my list is a bit of a tricky one, and it's a perfect example of what we've been talking about. It's the lunge. You see them everywhere. Fitness magazines love them. And for good reason. They can be great for building strength. But for us, for people who have lived a life and whose balance might not be as sharp as it once was, a standard forward lunge can be like walking a tightrope with a blindfold on. I remember trying them in my living room. You take that big step forward, and suddenly you're trying to balance on two narrow tracks while your body shifts all its weight forward. My front knee would sometimes push too far ahead, and I'd feel a little wobble. I'd catch myself, sure, but that feeling, it just wasn't worth the risk. It's all about balance and coordination, and if even one of those is a little off, it puts your whole body at risk. So here's what I discovered. You don't have to give up lunges entirely. We just have to do them smarter. Instead of stepping forward, which pulls your center of gravity away from you, I learned to do a supported reverse lunge. It's a game changer. I stand next to a chair or my kitchen counter, and I just take a slow, controlled step backward with one foot. My hands are lightly on the support, and I lower myself gently, only as far as feels comfortable. This way, I can keep my torso upright, and my front knee stays in line with my ankle. There's no tipping forward, no guessing. I stay in complete control the whole time. It's a fantastic way to strengthen your legs and hips without the risk of a fall. It respects where your body is today, giving it the tools to get stronger without any danger. After going through all this, what I've realized is that this isn't about giving up or becoming less active. It's about being wise. Too often, we're told to push through the pain or to keep doing what works for younger people. But our bodies after 60, they play by different rules. And that's not a weakness. That's just wisdom. We've been living a good, long life, and it's time we give our bodies the respect they deserve. We need to let go of the deep squats that punish our knees, the leg presses that silently compress our joints, and the jumping routines that risk every landing. In their place, we can welcome gentle, joint-friendly movements. Movements that protect our strength, not test it. Because leg strength is so much more than muscle. It's the ability to get up from the dinner table without hesitation. It's the confidence to walk up a flight of stairs, to carry a bag of groceries, or to go for a long walk in the park with your grandkids. You don't need intense workouts to reclaim that strength. You just need consistency, a little bit of care, and the right approach. Our legs still have miles to go. Let's make sure every step feels steady, strong, and full of life. It's our time to live better, feel stronger, and age beautifully, one smart step at a time. We're on this journey together, and we're just getting started.